What knowledge might save your life one day? If you are arguing with someone and they suddenly become more quiet, nod with a aha expression, break eye contact and look away, often to the side or over their shoulder, you're about to be sucker punched. The amount of people that I've seen get dropped this way is frankly staggering, and taking a shot to the jaw can be extremely dangerous. If you're being choked, turning your head to the right or left will allow you to breathe. Go for the eyes. Regardless of breathing, most idiots that will try to strangle you won't first secure you. If your hands are free, stab the fuck out of their eyes, and if your feet are free, groin area. Do it quick, before they decide/attempt to lock you into a restrained position. Headlocks and strangling, unless done properly, leave the attacker pretty vulnerable too. A general rule of thumb, if you are being attacked in any way and can't see a peaceful way out via compliance or whatever, go rabid, bite, scratch, whatever. Never, ever, go to the second location. I'm sure other people have said something similar to this already, but this is really important. If you get taken to the second location, your chances of making it out alive reduces to almost zero. If someone tries to kidnap you, do whatever you can to get them off you. Scream, kick, whatever your aim is to knock them out. Hell, to kill them. The more of a fight you put up, and the longer you stall, the more likely it is they will give up and leave. If you do get taken, make a trail if you can. Drop small items like a watch or earring periodically, and if you are in a vehicle, spit around the place. Pull out pieces of your hair, wipe your blood on stuff, basically put down as much DNA as you can. Pee on the car seat. Hell, even sweat has traces of DNA in it. If you can, drop small easily missed things like your ID, a pair of glasses you're known to wear, a sock, some jewelry, even your purse or wallet, under the car seats. It's not as likely the kidnapper will think to look there, but you best believe the crime scene techs will. If you've received an injury to one of your lungs, or if you're coughing up a fluid, never turn onto your back, or let anyone turn you onto your back. Turn onto one side. If it's the side of the injury, make sure it's that side, is so only that lung will fill with fluid, keeping your airway mostly clear. If you get put on your back, you will die. Source: knew a guy who worked in the police and saw far too often savable people getting turned onto their backs and dying within minutes. Better to drink water consistently throughout the day than drinking when thirsty. Army boot camp taught me this. You're drinking tomorrow's water today. From Australia, lost/broken down in the desert? Stay with your car. It's easier for rescuers to find a car than a person. Dig a space under the car and lay there during the day. The sand about 10 centimeters, 1 ft down will be cool. Don't come out until the sun goes down. If you do leave a car, don't leave a sign for rescuers as to which way you went, an arrow made out of sticks or car parts, etc. If you do leave your car, don't travel at night. Wait as long as you can after the sun sets to allow your eyes to accumulate with the dark before you set off. Find somewhere that will provide complete shade before sunrise, not partial shade or good shade. You need complete shade. When suffering from extreme dehydration and you find water but not actual rescue, don't sleep until you pee. Temptation will be to drink a heap of water and then lie down under a tree. Don't. You're still dehydrated. Keep drinking water until you pee. When you pee, your body has decided it has enough water to let some out. Now you can have a nap. Do it under a something that will provide complete shade when you wake up. The headresting piece of many cars are removable, and the end with the rods can be used as a object to break side windows if the doors are jammed for some reason. Just aim for any of the corners of the window as they are the weakest points. May help if the car is on fire or underwater. Don't drive behind a truck with an open back that is carrying materials, egg, metal rods, logs, bricks, etc. They can come loose and fly back at great speed, impaling the driver or inhabitant of the vehicle behind the truck. If you're being followed, quickly try and hug someone nearby and whisper in their ear the situation quickly. Most people will just pretend to know you to keep you safe. This saved a friend and me. An older lady came up and gave us a hug, asking loudly how was our mom. During the hug she said to be aware there was a guy watching us for over a half hour. Be aware of those around you as well. If you're unsure about the movement of a tornado, put a straight object such as a tree or a street light in between you and the tornado. It'll make it way easier to see which way the tornado is moving. If the tornado appears to not be moving, it's coming right at you. Edit. Usually the only reference you will have is the width. If it doesn't appear to be moving, but is getting wider, it's coming towards you, at which point you want to move perpendicular to its movement. A friend who grew up in a rough neighborhood taught me this one. If you're on a bus and robbers get on, you have a chance of not having your stuff taken or being bothered at all if you pretend to be asleep. For all that it's scary for the passengers when one or two fuckers with guns climb on a bus, it's also stressful AF for the robbers. They have to keep their eyes on a lot of people at once to prevent anyone from calling the police, prevent the driver from signaling distress somehow, and prevent all passengers from reacting in dangerous ways. If you're asleep, that's one person less for a robber to manage, so they may not bother to wake you up and have another wildcard to deal with just to get your phone and wallet. Also related, if you see a bus with a flashing light and the bus number board says call 911, call 911. I was behind a bus a few months back and the driver tripped his alert, and despite it being on a busy road with hundreds of cars going by it in the other direction and being stopped at a few traffic lights and at least 50 cars passing the bus once I saw it, my call was the only one 911 received, and they even called me back to see if I was still following it when it crossed jurisdictions. It was eventually met by a few cop cars and I drove on. Never did find out what happened. If a person asks you for something in the street, a light, the time, whatever, always keep the person in your eye line. So if they ask for the time, don't just look down at your watch. Raise your arm slightly so your watch is in sight. I was told this years ago at a self-defense thing at a corporate retreat type of event, and I wondered if it was ever going to be useful or just something to pad out the teacher's session. Then, a decade later, I was on the street late at night on my way home, and someone approached me and asked for the time. I did this, told him the time, and he just kinda stood there. Then he started asking some weird, clearly improvised, question about how he was looking for his friend's house, and he was sure it was on that street, and he had a yellow car similar to the one behind me. I didn't look back but just said yeah, yellow, and he pointed directly behind me. I said yeah, the yellow car, I saw it as I walked by, so. He paused for a second, looking like that meme of the woman with the equations around her head, then just yelled "Oh, Fusiku," and stormed off. It was only afterwards I realized that I think he wanted me to look away so he could slug me, but he wasn't prepared to attack someone that was looking right at him. I used to bicycle commute through a bad neighborhood 99.99% of the time. I had no issues. I had an old bicycle and didn't look like I had money. One morning though, 14 stepped into the street, forming a loose line across my path. One said hey man, got a light, and I knew that it was bullshit. I didn't slow down or talk with them. I looked one of the kids directly in the eye, aimed my bicycle at him, and pedaled as hard as I could. He instinctively jumped out of the way, and the others were caught off guard, so they didn't attempt to grab me. Contrary to common myth, you can file a missing persons report before 24 hours have passed. Putting it off a day because they went missing that night could very easily be the difference between them being found or not. Best piece of advice ever when driving: don't be nice, be predictable. If you've got right of way, take it. If you don't take it. If a pedestrian wants to illegally cross the road and you stop for him, but a car in the next lane over doesn't because he didn't see him, you've just killed a man. Don't be nice, be predictable. If your arm gets bit by an alligator and it's dragging you out into deeper water, don't try to pull free, cutting up your arm against its sharp teeth. Instead, reach farther into its mouth and pull the tongue, causing a reaction for the gator to open its mouth and giving you time to escape. This has been used a few times before to survive an alligator attack, and is literally the only option you have to survive, because alligators are murder machines, and will certainly kill you if you try anything else. I can't guarantee that it's true, but I once heard that, even if you have no service on your phone, you may still be able to call 911. Yes, it's illegal. If you can't, this goes for payphones too, and any other type of mobile device. Cows can't walk downstairs. Not sure how it would save your life, but it might. In case you ever witness a big explosion, always remember that light travels fastest. When you see the bright flash, the shockwave is gonna follow up, so you can duck behind cover. Never stand behind a window and gaze at the glorious light show. You don't want to end up with shards all over your body. I like the CNIB was started shortly after the Halifax explosion due to the large number of people who watched the explosion out their windows and were blinded by the glass. Oh, you're right. Apparently the biggest mass blinding in Canadian history, about 850 people. That's pretty scary. Join my Discord to get nothing in return. There is a link in the description. Have a nice day.